The start of a new Supreme Court term is typically an exciting moment. But this one feels less like the kind of excitement you get from the first day of school and more like the kind of excitement you get when you're trying to take a picture of a scenic vista at the top of a very perilous cliff, and the railing at the edge of the cliff that you're leaning on breaks while you're taking the picture and you fall into the abyss. This year feels exciting that way. Public trust in the United States Supreme Court to make fair decisions, to do its job, has never been lower. In a survey from Gallup, the only group that trusts the federal judiciary right now is the red line there, Republicans. Democrats, independents, with Democrats and independents, they're below 50%. A new poll by Marquette Law School shows that the American public's approval of the Supreme Court specifically has dropped 26 points in 2 years. And this isn't a popularity contest. This isn't just a sad tale about people not liking the court. This is a story about our country. If Americans do wholesale lose faith in the court, what's the consequence of that? I mean, how long before we are at risk of this unspeakable thing in which the American people no longer consent to follow the court's rulings? If we're not going to follow them, what do we follow instead? What's the law if court rulings no longer hold sway because the courts are no longer seen as legitimate? This is all happening, of course, in the wake of the decision to overturn Roe versus Wade, an unimaginable, very unpopular benchmark, which we have nevertheless passed and are living with now. For the term that starts today, the conservative supermajority on the court has sought out cases that could continue reshaping life as we know it in terms almost as fundamental as Roe. Affirmative action, gay rights, voting rights, whether state legislatures get to decide elections on their own say-so. Tomorrow, the court will hear a Voting Rights Act case out of Alabama, where more than a quarter of the voting age population is African American, but 6 out of 7 congressional districts are majority white. This case that the court is hearing tomorrow has the potential, bottom line, to undo congressional districts with black or brown lawmakers in every single state in the union. In her new book, Lady Justice, which is really good, my favorite court watcher in all the land, Dahlia Lithwick, writes about how women in particular are on tenterhooks right now, fully aware of how much is at risk and the radicalism of the moment that we are facing. Dahlia Lithwick writes in the conclusion to her book, quote, "We are in a truly frightening moment. Election deniers are laying the tracks to set aside the 2024 election, and the Supreme Court has, for the first time in history, reversed precedent in order to take away freedom rather than expand it. The court works ever harder to limit voting rights. States punish LGBTQ families and ban books in schools. The Supreme Court will hear a case affording state legislatures the right to determine election outcomes, the discredited legal theory deployed to try to set aside the 2020 contest. This will not be reversed in a year or maybe even a decade." But she says, quote, "I don't believe women sleep through revanchist backsliding any easier than they sleep through colic. We hear things. We see things. We are awake." Joining us now is Dahlia Lithwick, senior editor at Slate. She's the author of Lady Justice, Women, the Law, and the Battle to Save America. Dahlia, it's great to see you here.
It's good to be back.
It's really nice to have you here in person.
We're awfully cheerful, the two of us.
Sorry. Yeah, want to hear some more Nazi stories? I'm sorry.
Usually I'm the depressive on the two of us, but man, you really set the bar low.
I mean, the point is, though, that we should not see our current challenges as unprecedented challenges, that we have had very, very difficult moments, including on constitutional fundamentals in the past. And it takes a lot. It takes not just the courts. It takes not just the Justice Department. It takes not just jail for bad guys to fix these things. And I feel like in Lady Justice and in the way that you're approaching this current court, you're sort of telling a little bit of the same story, which is that there's work to do and there's no silver bullet.
And telling exactly the same story that you just told, which is if you think that winning lawsuits is going to get you there, it's not enough. You can win a bunch of lawsuits. In some sense, this book is about a bunch of amazing lawsuits. But the last third of the book is about exactly what you were talking about: organizing, registering voters, structural democracy reform, right? Senate has to be reformed. The Electoral College has to be reformed. We have to think about massive reform to the Supreme Court. Those aren't things that are going to get fixed at the midterms, and they're not going to get fixed in 2024, assuming the 2024 election plays out the way we hope it does. This is really a moment for people to say, What am I doing to protect poll workers? What am I doing to protect teachers? How am I going to make sure that the Secretary of State race in my state is essential? And that's the kind of stuff I think we lose track of. But that's the structural democratic fix that is absolutely essential for everybody to be paying attention to.
And honestly, I mean, this is sort of the time, if you are concerned about democracy, if you are concerned about what's happening with the elections in your state, now today is the day. We're just far enough out from the election that you've still got time to ask yourself, well, when I tell my kids and my grandkids and I kibitz with my friends about this moment, what am I going to say I did? What was my role in helping? How did I participate in trying to hold up this thing that I say I value?